Hello, thank you for joining me for this online presentation on making the most of your remote interview. Due to current stay-at-home orders across the country, many employers are turning to remote interviews in record numbers. I will be sharing helpful tips to help you maximize this opportunity. My name is Diane Hull, and I work in career services as a career advisor for graduate students at Penn. I am here to share with you some best practices to make the most of these interviewing opportunities. Feel free to pause this video to check out some of the resources I will be sharing, and make sure to download the resource list with links to all the tools described in the video. The link to the resource list can be found in the comments down below. Here is an overview of the topics we will be covering today. The uncertainty of the current job market. In a very short period of time, much of the country began to work at home. We don't know what the workforce will look like tomorrow, and there are a lot of unanswered questions. I'll provide an overview of phone and video interviews and provide some tips for you to excel in these formats. Career Services has lots of resources available to help you, and most of these are available online. So I will provide an overview of some tools relevant to phone and video interviewing. I'll also cover how to follow up after you have had an interview in this different work environment we are currently in, which is hopefully temporary. There is a great deal of uncertainty right now. Other than essential workers, almost everyone is working from home. For some employers, they were doing this previously very successfully, but many had to make a sudden and unexpected shift to working remotely. Everyone is balancing other parts of their life during the workday that they did not maybe have to balance previously. Children of all ages are home from school. Partners, roommates, and family members are now all working out of their homes together. So because of this, many employers will need to temporarily focus on their own employees and will have less time than they had in the past for recruiting and interviewing, and less time to respond to your questions and inquiries. Many employers are also facing an unknown financial future, and this may guide their decision-making in the near future. The timelines under which employers are operating may be shifting daily, if not even hourly, every day. Technology is being used by most employers to fill gaps where it may not have before, not only for interviewing, but for everyday work. And so while the technology is very helpful, there is a learning curve for lots of people as well. Essentially, there are a lot of unanswered questions when it comes to job searching. As a job seeker, you need to be as flexible and as understanding as possible. One of the most important things that you can do as a job seeker is to continue to apply for jobs and internships that are posted. You may wonder whether the employer is still actually hiring, or you might have heard through the grapevine that they've canceled interviews for others. And so while it is important to remember that employers may have put hiring on hold and paused temporarily, eventually it will restart. And you want to make sure that when an employer starts looking to hire, your application is in the pile. That's why I say you can't win the lottery if you don't have a ticket. Be prepared to be patient. Timelines will change, and you need to be flexible and accommodating. When you are contacted for an interview, be as flexible as possible in your scheduling and the format in which you'd be willing to interview. As you peruse job openings, have an open mind, thinking about what you might like to do. Networking is always one of the most important pieces to job searching, but in our current environment, this will be even more important. One of the best ways that you can identify job opportunities is through networking with people already in the field. In our current environment, you need to be mindful that people with whom you'd like to connect may have a lot on their plates and their lives may be more chaotic than usual. At the same time, the opportunity to connect with a job seeker might be a welcome diversion. It's important to be aware of the challenges that others face and to be mindful about what you are asking of others. Now is probably not the right time to ask connections for a lot of their time. In-person meetings are out because of social distancing, and people may not have the time for an involved phone call. When you reach out to a connection, first acknowledge the challenges that everyone is facing and do a brief check-in. You could ask them if they might have the time to answer a few quick job-related questions. By asking permission, you are giving them the opportunity to say yes. Then brainstorm some quick questions that could be answered easily over email. You can save the in-depth questions for the future when people have more time or if a contact offers that opportunity. Prior to interviewing, be thinking about how you can frame your skills and experiences in a way that would be helpful to an employer. With so many employers working from home, think about past experiences you have had working remotely. Do you have any work experience in which you worked in a separate location from your supervisor? Any of these experiences should be highlighted as a way of framing your ability to work without direct supervision. Before your interview, think about the employer and what kind of challenges they may face in the current work environment. Think about your own experience and how you might be able to help them. What skills or experiences do you have which might make you a good employee? Be thinking about how you might share examples of your work during an online interview. In an in-person interview, you might have brought with you a portfolio, a design sheet, or some other paper document which would showcase your work. Think about how you could share this during a video interview. Most online platforms have a screen sharing feature. Be sure to check this out and test it before the interview. Right now, all interviews are taking place online or via phone. It's important to prep for these environments ahead of time so you can make a solid first impression. Always download and test the software well in advance of your interview. You may want to see if a friend or colleague will help you test it out. Practice ahead of time via both phone and online. You will want to see what your voice sounds like and if there is anything you'd like to change about how you're presenting yourself. Phone interviews can be challenging because the interviewer cannot see you and can't read your facial cues. But the upside to a phone interview is that they cannot see what you can see, so you can have helpful notes around you. Be sure to familiarize yourself with whatever the online meeting platform is used by employers, commonly Zoom, Skype, and BlueJeans. But be sure to have some sort of backup plan if the technology fails. A phone number where your interviewer can be reached is the absolute best plan. Technology often glitches, and planning ahead will help to reduce your anxiety. This is what your view could be during a phone interview, and the interviewer will never know. There are many helpful videos online about how to set up your background and lighting for a video interview. See the handout resource for the link to this quick 4-minute video. You will absolutely want to dress professionally for your interview, whether it is a phone or video interview. Dressing the part will help keep you sounding and looking professional. Examine your interview space before the interview and try to identify distractions. A cat who walks in front of the camera, a dog who barks, or a child who walks through an unlocked door. If you live with other people, check in with them ahead of time to make sure the timing of your interview works for them as well. An example of how not to dress and how you should be dressed. Dressing the part is an easy way to put your best foot forward. Here's an example of good lighting versus bad lighting. It is really important that the interviewer be able to see you. Follow-up is key to any interview, and especially so when an employer might be distracted and have other projects on their mind. At the end of the interview, do not forget to ask them what the next step is in the process and what their time frame is. This is always a good question to ask, but more so now. Knowing what their expected timeline is will let you know when it is appropriate and fair to follow up if you have not yet heard from them. Let the employer know that you will follow up with them and then do so according to their timeline. As with any interview, be sure to send a thank you email after the interview. Within 24 hours is ideal. Be sure to acknowledge extra appreciation for taking the time to speak with you during these challenging times. Be sure to be friendly in your follow-up correspondence with the interviewer. Check in on them and see how they are doing. Show that you care by inquiring about their well-being. Here are some helpful links to online resources that Career Services offers. Our interviewing channel has loads of sample questions and other tools to help you prepare. Interview Stream is an excellent way to practice your online interview skills. It will conduct a mock interview with a taped video interviewer. You can record your answers and then watch them back. Career Services now offers 3 Canvas courses for students and 1 covers interviewing. This is a great way to prep for interviews. We also offer lots of blog posts from various staff members on video interviewing. Connect with Career Services today. We are up and running online and ready to help you prepare for interviews. We offer online video appointments as well as phone Monday through Friday. Log on to Handshake to schedule an appointment for interview prep or for a mock interview. Our team also offers phone drop-in appointments Monday through Friday from 2 to 3 p.m. If you have a quick question or want us to review a document, sign up for one of these 15-minute appointments. They open each day at 9:15 a.m. on Handshake. Career Services is here to help you. The world of work is facing new challenges right now, but it is really important to remember that these times are temporary. and will not last forever. Go outside every single day. Do something not school or job search related each day. And remember to breathe. Career Services is here to help you.